Welcome to Spooky High. I'm Principal Giant Spider. We're a top-notch institution with lots of locations to visit, all of them great, like the gym, our many classrooms, the library and the auditorium, bathrooms. Well, our bathrooms are mostly great when they're not being set on fire, or flooded, or used as the stage for blood rituals. But mostly great bathrooms, yes. Here at Spooky High, we care for your safety. This last year, the number of students murdered by monster slayers went down from way too many to still kind of worrying. Then you have our students. They're such great individuals. Sure, there's that one that started a cult, or that other one that's basically part of a genocidal monarchy, or that one that released an ancient dark deity just to take it to prom, or... You know what? At least they're having a great time. And isn't that what high school is truly about?
It is now. Welcome to Monster Prom, the first multiplayer dating sim. Be ready for tons of absurd situations, crazy challenges, and hard choices. Are you ready to fight for love? Monster Prom, be your worst self.
Hey, does the setting of this game seem familiar to you? Almost as though there was a movie series, sort of based upon a similar concept for kids, you know? I don't know, I mean, I could be wrong, but isn't it odd, you know, like a sense of deja vu? Or is it just me? Yeah, it's probably just me, you know? Now, you may be asking, why am I doing a review of a dating simulator? Well, usually dating sims aren't my sort of thing, you know? I mean, I'd go for romance options in RPGs, but that was mostly because that they'd add on like a bonus, you know, like, woohoo, now you get, whenever you sleep in a bed, you get 3 hours of double XP, rather than 2, like in Fallout 4. But I never really liked dating sims. So, why did I buy this? Why did I end up buying this? Well, I wanted to buy a game, so I looked on the Steam page for it, found that it was in a bundle with 4 other games. 2 of those games I also wanted, and the other 2 I hadn't heard of before. One of those games was Monster Prom. So I bought the bundle, I installed them all, and then proceeded to only ever play Stardew Valley for the next few months because, let's be honest here, I am bad at managing everything. I mean, honestly, Stardew Valley is pretty good, really addictive. It was basically all I played during lockdown, so can you really blame me? Back to the actual game that I'm playing. So, Monster Prom. The general premise of it is you play as one of the 4 characters: Oz, Amira, Brian, and Vicky. Each of these characters has, obviously they look different, they don't really play differently because of how the dialogue works and all, but they're all fun characters. They're all very visually interesting, they all look really cool, I really like the designs of them. I really like all the designs in the game, I really think that they're expertly done, there's so much detail put into them. There's so much love and care put into these designs, it's so obvious. The basic idea is you play as one of these 4 characters with upwards of 3 friends. As you're playing, you get to choose which one of the 6 characters you get to romance. The characters that you get to romance, well, I'll let the in-game explanation of who these characters are play in the background, because honestly it explains it better than I could. I really love each of these characters as well. I really think that the characterization for them is done beautifully. I'm going to use that word a lot. I'm going to be saying that this game is beautiful and that the characters and all are beautiful a lot. When you start up the game, after choosing your character, you can change their name and their pronouns if you want, but once you choose the character, you then get to go into a little magazine. This magazine decides your stats by answering questions. These stats affect your choices. So, for instance, say you have a dialogue option in front of you, and you think the top option goes with smarts, and the bottom option goes with creativity. You look at your stats, you see which one's higher, and you choose the one that's higher, and then it will be a success. You can choose the one that's lower, and it will be a fail, but if you do, you do get progress towards 100%ing the game and unlocking all the outcomes. You also get different failures, so like, say on one run, you get an option where you choose smarts, because you're higher in smarts, but then on the next run, you have the exact same option, and you go for smarts again, but this time your smarts is lower than creativity. Well, then you'll get a unique fail option. Same with the other option. And that just goes to show the level of detail and the level of care they've put in to make it so that every option has a good outcome and a bad outcome, and there's so many options and outcomes in the game. Not to mention that they're all just really good options, all really fucking hilarious. I did not mean to swear there. It's too ingrained in me at this point, I'm gone. The final question also determines which character you'll meet first when you go into an area. It basically says, here's who you're romancing for this run. It's quite easy to look at the options and think, okay, so obviously if I choose this option, I'll go for this character, this option, that character, once you've played the game like 2 or 3 times. It's quite easy to get the hang of once you get into it, and it's quite fun. The stats can also be upped at different areas, so going to the bathroom will up your boldness, going to the outdoors will up your fun, going to the auditorium will up your creativity. It's good. The money can also be used at an in-game shop to buy items. Some of these items can unlock special endings or help with getting to the special endings. Again, the plot is just quite simple. Monster Prom is coming up, and so you have to play and try and romance one of the 6 characters. That's where the similarities with your typical sort of high school romance end. You see, Monster Prom has given itself a wide breadth to explore. When you do a normal high school story, it's rather enclosed. You know, you're stuck to realism, or if it's a comedy, you know, you can suspend your disbelief. If it's a horror comedy, like I know there was one, I forgot what it was called. It was like a zombie horror comedy doing a prom, and it was a musical as well. I forgot the name of it, but obviously there you can suspend your disbelief. There are ones where you can, but with this, because of the unique setting, it gives itself such a wide breadth to explore. So basically everything's allowed at the school. You're allowed to take drugs during class, you're allowed to drink wine during lunch, you're allowed to skip class, you're allowed to just start a rave that has 300 people, summon eldritch demons. It really, basically anything goes as long as you can get away with it. I mean, Principal Giant Spider doesn't really care as long as you can convince him. But it's because of this wide breadth that it gives itself that this comedy can really flow. All the characters are done expertly, and it's because they're these normal archetypes that you've got. Like, you've got your regular old jock character who's far more strong and far more big in their heart and, you know, really sweet like that. Well, it's not that smart, but here they've taken that and turned the dial up past max, and this has allowed for some really funny conversations with the character. It's allowed for some unique things to go along, some unique options, unique scenarios. It's really good. You know, the regular party girl type who likes to go to parties, drink, do drugs, have sex and all. Well, in this, they make their own drugs, they make their own toilet wine, they make their own actual alcohol. They do so many drugs that meth has become boring to them, and they're so obsessed with partying that they're scared that the world is gonna end or aliens are gonna invade and ban partying, and she's scared that, you know, oh, I'm gonna live forever. What if at one point partying is banned? And that's her main concern, really. I think it's really cool that all these characters are just like taken up to 11, because it allows for such unique dialogues, such unique scenarios, and such amazing characters. I love each of the characters. I'm trying to get all of their secret endings and everything. Speaking of secret endings, there's the gallery. The gallery is where you go to check up on all the progress you've made. So, say you've romanced, I don't know, Liam. Well, now you can go to the gallery and check out the prom photo and the variations of the different characters on their date with Liam. You can do the same with any of the other characters. Vera, Scott, Miranda, Damien. You can do them all. You can do them all. The secret endings also have special Polaroids shown at the end. These Polaroids can then be checked out in, obviously, the gallery. Some of these Polaroids do have slight sexual content. Like, nothing actually. Like, nothing is actually shown. Sure, some of the guys may be shirtless, some of the girls may be showing a bit much, but nothing actually sexual. But I still don't want to put it on YouTube in case I get demonetized. Why am I even scared about getting demonetized? I don't make any money. I guess what I'm scared about is a strike on my channel, which would not be good. But the secret endings are all quite fun. It's all it's best to go and look up a guide and see what the secret endings are to try and go for them. That's what I try and do. I do only look at them to see, like, oh, okay, choose this to get a secret ending, you know. I don't actually try and cheat most of the time, but I do like to try and go for 100%. The gallery also has fan art in it, and I really like that. I really like the fact that the creators of the game saw people's fan arts and thought, oh wow, you know what, this is awesome, I love this, let's put it in our game, let's put the fan art in the game. It'll be a way to, you know, shine some light on the community, say, we see what you're doing, we love it, we appreciate it, we're putting it in our game. It's a way to give these artists a little bit of exposure. It's a fun little thank you to the community, and I really like that. They also have their monster sonars. The dev team's quite small. They have their own monster sonars, which is basically monster versions of themselves. My favourite one is the lead artist. The detail in the feet is exquisite. Everything else, not so much. I really like it though. It originally started as a Kickstarter as well, raising around quadruple its original goal of €8,000, raising 32,000. For comparison, that's about £27,500 out of a 7,000 original goal. I may be wrong there, but currently, for exchange rates and all, that's what it says. So yeah, and it was obvious that they spent every penny wisely. They also have a DLC for it called Second Term. I do own it, but I haven't played it yet. It adds 2 new romanceable characters. Both are in the base game, but they're not romanceable. The characters are Calculaster Hewlett-Packard, who is a robot who you have to help with the school's robo-racism policies in the base game, and you can romance in the DLC. And they are voiced by Jacksepticeye, if that doesn't give you incentive enough to try and romance them. The other character is Zoe. They're an eldritch deity, a demon, beyond a demon. They're a creature of complete and utter darkness and death, where they walk, creation falls. Where they gaze, life stops. Nothing can stop them. Except for you helping them out and showing them the wonders of high school life, convincing them to become a high school anime girl, and being able to be romanced in the next game. Yeah, isn't that what everyone wants, you know, just like magically become a high school girl? Just like a week, maybe, a day. That's a normal feeling, right? Right? Now, there are literally hundreds of scenes and stories and outcomes and all in the game. There's like well over 1,000. It's so amazing the amount of content put into the game and the care that is put into each and every single bit of it. It's so amazing to see that, especially, it's quite refreshing as well, especially considering how some games nowadays, like from AAA developers, like EA, Ubisoft, whatever, they push out their games annually, and it just really shows that, they don't have time to put in every small detail, not that much care, just money. No, nothing on the developers, of course. I know that the developers do put in hard work and often have to go into crunch time and a bunch of bad business practices. This game did not have that crunch. It did not have that amount of, it needs to be released by then, you release it then, right now. It didn't have that, and it's so evident that there's so much care and all put into it, and that care is allowed to be put into it because of that freedom. There may have been crunch, as far as I know, there wasn't. They also used that money to help launch a second game, which they also put up a Kickstarter for. They used the extra money from the first game to make the DLC and also hire voice actors, put in more scenarios and all. They set up another Kickstarter for a sequel, Monster Prom 2 Holiday Season. It also raised more than its goal. Its original goal was 32,000, and it raised 535,000 euros. That is insane. In just a month as well, with over 9,000 backers. That just goes to show you the amount of love and the amount of praise the first game got, that it was able to get that much money in a single month. The game has 3 mini-games in it. The first is Summer Camp, which is a dating sim just like the first game, with some new romanceable characters as well as some old ones. Yes, including Jacksepticeye, don't worry. There's also Winter Retreat, a strategy game with Vera and Miranda, and Road Trip, a survival adventure with Scott and Polly. I can't speak on it because I haven't actually played it yet, but I am planning to. I am certain though that the amount of care and love put into the first game is present in the second. I was speaking about leftover money, and the leftover money from the second game's Kickstarter was used to make a third game. This third game is called Monster Prom Reverse. This time, however, you play as Damien, Zoe, Calculester, and Dahlia. She was a character added in second term as a minor character and a romanceable option in Monster Camp. You play as these characters, this time romancing the characters from the first game. So it's obviously a reverse of Monster Prom. I'm really excited for it. I am hoping to probably stream it, the second that it releases. But speaking of which, I am hoping to be streaming, hopefully soon. I've got some things lined up, a few projects that I'm going to be gathering footage for, so maybe I'll live stream them at the same time, If you want that, then please do comment. Thank you. But honestly, I'm absolutely surprised by how much fun I have with this game. Due to the general reputation of dating sims as being porn hentai games. Again, this one does have slightly suggestive images. Don't know why you'd beat off to them, but they're there. But it is so much fun. I'm serious. If you have a PC, a Switch, a PS4, or an Xbox One, you can go and play it. There's a free demo of Monster Prom and Monster Prom 2 on Steam, so you can get it on laptop and PC. Not sure if the demo is available on the other platforms, but you can look. I do highly recommend it though. I would definitely say, if you can, go play it. Do support these developers. Beautiful Glitcher has done something beautiful with the game, and I love it. I've only really found 2 glitches in the game. The first is doing the main menu, where the background that plays is slightly off center, and the second glitch is a bit of an audio bug where sometimes the music in the background will speed up as though it's trying to catch up with where the singing is going, or with the scene if there's no actual singing. Oh, speaking of the music, I forgot to say, the music as well is wonderful. I absolutely love the soundtrack. I bought it. Bloody amazing. I especially love the end, the song that plays during the end. In fact, I'm going to have that play at the end of this video. But yeah, Monster Prom. Do go play it. Absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like, subscribe, blah blah blah. Please do check out my Twitch. I'm going to be linking it. I'm going to hopefully live stream. Also, because literally every other YouTuber is doing it that I know about, I've started a Patreon. This Patreon basically only has one tier. You just can donate like £2 to me. At least £2. I can't lower it, but like at least £2, and what you get to do is you get to have conversations with me privately, video recommendations, and you also get to have a say in like, oh, you know, maybe do a review on this, maybe check this out, you know. So it's a way to contact me. Don't donate, because it's just a waste of your money though. I literally only did it as a joke. So if you do want to donate, you can, but don't. Yeah. Again, like, subscribe, comment to please the algorithmic tendencies of mommy YouTube. And I'll see you all another. Please. Why did I say please? Goodbye.